All right, so I'm just a stupid dog, and the producer calls me up and he's all flummoxed and he says, "You got to do a take, dog, because Joe Rogan has just been knocked off his perch as the number one podcaster in America or the world." And I was like, "Hey, don't worry about it." I mean, I remember when a few weeks ago, or whatever it was, Travis Kelce's sister-in-law bumped him off, you know what I mean? And now some group of anti-Trumpers have knocked him off, but it's just for a week here or there. I mean, just because you get outpointed in a round or two don't mean you're going to be giving up the title, you know what I mean? I mean, Joe's still the man, but far be it from me, because as a stupid dog, I don't really get into the whole Joe Rogan experience. It's not my cup of tea, as they say. But so because to placate the producer, keep him happy, I said, okay, I'll watch a little of this Joe Rogan Experience podcast number 2281, the Elon Musk, whatever it is. And bear in mind, I find this very challenging because I'm not a big Joe fan, and I'm even less of an Elon fan. But Joe and Elon, their stomach turning, okay? I mean, they're playing with some AI like little kids playing with a Atari back in like 1983. I mean, and they're laughing their micro-dosed, cringy guffaws and belly rolls. I'm a stupid dog, but ketamine must be bliss. Ignorance is bliss. Self-indulgence is bliss. Having I don't have to give a fuck wealth is bliss. Those boys are kind of lucky. But as a stupid dog, I have to confess, as a stupid dog, I don't know if I can really bring myself to watch enough of this podcast to make an informed, valid critique. This might have to be a dog post deep fake take, because I don't know if I'm really going to be speaking in an informed manner. So I'm about 4 minutes into this thing, okay? And I'm losing interest. And I'm so turned off by trying to discern who is more petulant and vulgar, either Joe, Elon, or that AI girl, that I'm getting nauseous over here. I mean, how can people stand this? How base, how low, how insignificant does something have to become until the masses reject it or embrace it? I don't know. I can't figure it out. It's like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The wise old owl, he said it was 3. My question is, how many minutes of this Joe Rogan podcast do I have to watch before I switch over to watching Sopranos reruns? Anyways, at 4 minutes and 40 seconds, I reached the maximum amount I could stand of their banter. So I skipped ahead. It just so happened when I skipped ahead because I have clumsy dog apparatus to try to operate my device. I put on dog apparatus over top of my paws so I could try to operate my device, and they're not what you would call very fine-tuned or whatever. It's not like Doxter's instruments over here. So I did my best to skip ahead a little bit. I skipped ahead to 53 minutes and 17 seconds, only to hear Joe begin talking about General Flynn. You remember that character, General Flynn? Joe, this day and age, is still bringing up General Flynn. I immediately couldn't stand it. So at 53 minutes and 19 seconds, again, I felt it compulsory to skip ahead, and I found myself at 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 22 seconds. And here we find Elon discussing blue state politics and the theory of ethnic replacement, the great replacement theory, to which Joe responds with a heartfelt, Jesus Christ. Joe, take it easy. I mean, do you really believe this shit? I couldn't handle that. When Joe was like, oh my God. I was like, Joe, you need an Oscar for that one. So I skipped ahead to 1 hour and 44 minutes and 56 seconds. And here we find Elon coherently discussing SpaceX, which, while boring, it's at least actually normal dialogue tethered to reality. in a sense, it's informative and lucid, giving the listener a break from the disturbia. But really, who wants to, hear that bullshit? So I decided I'd skip ahead again, and I came out on 2 hours and 16 minutes even, where Joe is bestowing upon Elon the title Defender of the Faith with regards to AI. Joe is basically thanking Elon for becoming the Jesus of our brave new world. Thank you for your sacrifice, Elon. But here's the thing. I can't find anything that's different from either Joe or Elon, to cause anything but normal consternation. What's all the big deal? I don't know why the producer is saying that Joe's been knocked off his perch. While you get online and, according to the producer, you can find a whole bunch of people who are criticizing Joe and dropping his podcast. This is just par for the course. This is what they do. I mean, it's just like when everybody got all hyped up over the Trump and Vance versus Zelensky throwdown in the Oval Office. It's what you come to expect. All this is the same kind of bullshit. I mean, it's nothing new. I mean, this is us. This is who we are now. There's no going back until God decides enough is enough, or else maybe a big asteroid will smash upon us, or, somebody sets off one of them bombs to turn off all the freezers and all the cell phones. This is what we signed up for. This is us. This is the ride we're on. I mean, embrace it. It's no worse than it, you know what I'm saying? It's no worse than it has been. So don't get all up and, don't get your panties up in a bunch. Believe me, it could be worse. Try going shopping for groceries in the Ukraine or South Sudan. I don't know. My problem is I'm getting a sharp pain right in my bowels, a sharp shit pain, and the man is drunk. And I don't know who's going to open up the door for me. I've started to eye up the litter box. I'm like, how can I stuff my butt into that litter box and take a crap? Because I don't want to crap on the floor, you know what I'm saying, inside the manor house. But I don't know how I'm going to wake the man up. I don't know. I'm just going to try to hold it. I'm going to just try to lay down and ignore this vicious, horrible shit pain in my side. Don't worry about it. It's the same old thing. Don't worry about it.